All right. I wanted to make a video about some detailing products I use. I don't do it professionally. I do it on the side, mainly for myself and friends and family and stuff. But I'm very, I'd say, right next to racing and all that kind of stuff. Detailing is a hobby, and if I wasn't scared to lose that hobby, I'd probably do it full time. But the products that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not doing a demo because that's just, I mean, you can watch the guys, videos on how he uses them, how he tells you to use them and stuff like that, and nobody's gonna put out a better product demo than the guy who makes the chemical. That's just how it is. But I have seen some guys on YouTube that have done product reviews on this stuff, and you know, I just don't see how you can do an accurate product review without using the product correctly. Because I mean, you're kind of creating a little gray area there, and that just leaves room for, people to get a bad opinion or a bad taste in their mouth about this product because you didn't demo it correctly. So I'm not going to sit here and try to demo the man's product because I'll let him do that. He's got several videos on his YouTube, and he goes over everything you need to know about everything he offers on his website. Has several videos of him using them. That's where you need to go to get your information on it. I'm just sharing my experience with them, how I feel about them, how I use them. But the company is Chem-x. He's up north. He mainly does more so your semis, tractors, trailers, some heavy equipment, tow trucks, wreckers, all that kind of stuff, whatever. And the big stuff, the stuff that if you were to sit there and try and hand wash, you're going to be there for, one person. I mean, just trying to hand wash it and actually, if you're not OCD, you may get it done in a day, maybe sun up, sun down. If you're OCD like I am, you're going to spend days on it. Just hand washing. That's it. Just hand washing, not coating or anything. So, he developed these products to where it's a touchless wash. Well, any chance you get to wash a vehicle and not touch the paint with your hand, with a mitt, with anything, that is the way to go. Anytime you touch the paint with anything, you run the risk of putting light swirls in it. Even if you're going in straight lines, it doesn't matter. If you're touching the paint with anything, you run the risk of putting scratches in it, putting little light marring, light scratches in it, stuff like that. And yeah, you can always go back with a buffer, polisher, whatever, get those out. But now you're talking time and money. You're talking more time, more money to get all that out, whenever you could have saved yourself. Now, in some instances, some vehicles are too dirty to where using a two-step method like what he developed at Chem-x, to where those won't work. But if you use the product correctly, and, again, he stresses high pressure. Now, we're not talking, 6,000 PSI. No, that you don't touch a vehicle with 6,000 PSI. But if you're using like a little Ryobi electric pressure washer, you're not gonna get the best results. Like I use I really built my own pressure washer, pick my own pump, my own engine, stuff like that. But I've got a little 12 horse Honda engine that runs it's a little cat pump, but it's a 4,000 GPM, 4,000 PSI. Well, I back my pressure down. You don't need, to have a lot of pressure. It's more so the volume. The 4,000 GPM is perfect. That's a lot of water, Okay. So I have my pressure back down to probably 2,900 to 3,000, which is a little on the high side, but I control that by how far away I stand from the vehicle. I'm not going to get 2 inches away from the paint with 3,000 PSI. I stand back. I know whenever I need to get close, whenever I don't, what I can get close on, what I need to back away from, but same thing with, your guns, your wand, your foam cannon. All that has to be set up for your pump, your pressure washer. You can't just take Like, you can't take my foam cannon, my gun, everything that I have that's set up for 4,000 PSI, 4 gallon per minute, pressure washer, and then, I'm sorry, I said 4,000 gallon per minute. Yeah, that would be insane. No, it's a 4 gallon per minute, sorry. Anyway, but you can't take my setup that is for 4,000 PSI, 4 gallons per minute pressure washer, and then go put it on like a Ryobi electric pressure washer that is, I don't know, they're usually about 1,500 PSI. They may, advertise 2,300 PSI, but look into it, check it out. It's actually about 1,600 PSI. Like 1.1, 1.2 gallon per minute, that's not really gonna do you a whole lot of good. I mean, if you're just looking to try to hose something off, whatever, that's fine. But, it leaves room for improvement. So you gotta have everything set up, and that's whenever you'll start getting results like what the manufacturer of these chemicals gets. So, I just kind of want to throw that out there before, kind of talking about them, because I've seen people try to use them. I've seen people not get the right results and stuff like that. And it's because they're not using it correctly. Their stuff's not set up. So like I said, I have 4,000 PSI, 4 gallon per minute pressure washer. My wand, my foam cannon, everything I have is set up for that. If I change my power washer, all my attachments change. My wand, my foam cannon, all that, they will be set up for whatever else. But anyway, yeah, Chem-x. If you watch his videos, you'll see, a lot, your your big equipment like that generally is going to get dirtier than most of your, just regular cars, trucks, whatever that go down the road. They tend to get dirtier. They have a lot more polished aluminum on it. They go, depending on what they do with the truck, whatever, they'll go off road a lot more. They'll go down, dirtier conditions and stuff like that. So they get a lot, and they drive a lot more. They drive way more. So, if it can clean one of those, it can clean your car. You just got to do it correctly. But anyway, and I have pretty much everything he offers on his website. I don't have it in front of me because some of it's not really important what I'm getting at. But the first one is the heavy duty, and it's backwards. I know it's, whatever. But anyway, it's heavy duty. It says truck wash degreaser APC. And if you look, again, I know it's backwards, but just bear with me. If you look right here, if you purchase it, or if you look online, you got your pH rating right there, 13. You've got right here, just kind of goes over, what you can use it for and stuff like that. Here's your mixing ratios right here. All right, if you buy the jug of it, you'll see it, okay? There's your mixing ratios. I mean, like I said, he makes the chemical. He knows what it needs to be diluted at. Follow it, that's it. And on the side right here, it's QR code. Scan it. If you want to know how to use it first before you use it, scan it. That's all you gotta do. Go to his YouTube, Chem-x. Look up Chem-x on YouTube. The dude's got a ton of videos on how to use this stuff. Goes over every chemical he offers, and he even will play around with his own chemicals to figure out, if you can do this, do that with it, whatever, which is what I like to do. I've played around with his chemicals myself. But anyway, I don't generally use that on the paint. I'll mix it up in a pump up sprayer, like a little foamer, and I'll do wheel wells, frame, shocks, suspension, under the hood, stuff like that. Steps, anything that's not really painted, and then you can use it on paint. I'm not saying it's not safe for paint, but anything that kind of is closest to the road, that's where all your dirt and everything is going to be. Whenever you're driving, your dirt's going to hit your wheels, your tires, your steps, your wheel well, suspension, all that kind of stuff is what it's going to hit first. Okay, So that's what I use that for. Same thing under the hood, the bed, everything. If my truck is real dirty, you know, my truck's ceramic coated. My truck's real dirty, I'll cut that like 10-to-1 in my foam. Actually, a little bit more than that, probably 15-to-1. I'll cut it in my foam cannon and then, you know, run it through my power washer. Running it, you know, whenever you run it in your foam cannon, it cuts it even more whenever you're, you know, doing that. So, and it still works. I mean, even cutting it like 15-to-1, it still works very well. But that's just to get some of the hard stuff off, whatever. The next one is stars. This one is part of his 2-step wash method. And if you look, step 1, pH 2. Okay, again, mixing ratio right there. If you buy it, you'll see it. I know it's backwards. But anyway, you know, again, you know, fast, effective, touchless, whatever, super concentrated. Again, QR code right there. If you want to know how to use it, scan the QR code. It'll take you to his website, or you can go to his YouTube. This is his main, this is his bread and butter right here. This is his bread, Stripes is his butter, okay? So I mix it 4-to-1. I've tried it a little bit heavier. I've tried it not as heavy. 4-to-1 kind of works the best for me for what I've dealt with, and that's how he cuts it too. I just pretty much, most of his chemicals other than the heavy duty, I cut 4-to-1, okay? So this is stars, this is step 1. It's a low pH, you know, chemical, all right? This is what you're gonna foam on first, all right? I will go down with a high pressure rinse first if I didn't go through with the heavy duty first. If I go through the heavy duty first, then truck's already wet, it's already sprayed off, whatever. If I don't do that, then I'll do a high pressure rinse first and get the paint wet, get everything wet, kind of, if there's anything loose, dirt or whatever, go ahead and wash that off. And then I'll mix up 4-to-1 in my foam cannon. I'll foam it on the truck, all right? And I foam it on thick, okay? You can mix it up 4-to-1 and do a whole truck, probably half a foam cannon. I use all of it on mine. I've got a crew cab short bed Platinum F250, okay? You know, like I said, I can do a whole truck and probably half foam cannon, actually probably less than that. Probably about a quarter of the foam cannon, I could do the whole truck. But I like to put it on thick, okay? So then, next, and again, don't let this stuff dry on your paint. You don't let any soap dry on your paint. This is step 2. Even tells you right there, step 2. Looks like a 5, trust me, it's 2. pH, again, 13. The last one was 2, this one's 13, all right? It's higher on the pH level. What they do is they create a chemical reaction, okay? Whenever those two create a chemical reaction, it basically, I guess you could say, releases the static bond of the dirt and debris on your paint, your clear coat, your coating or whatever. It releases that, and then, you know, the foam will actually trap any of the dirt, anything that it pulls out, and then that's, you know, when the foam runs down, that's, everything goes with it, okay? Sound like a Honda Civic driving by. But anyway, again, mixing ratios, follow those, QR code, look it up if you need it, whatever. Again, 4-to-1. I mix it up 4-to-1. I mix everything 4-to-1 except for the heavy duty. Okay, 4-to-1. Foam it on. While, you know, don't rinse off stars. Leave it on. Foam stars on. Right when you get done foaming stars on, foam stripes on. All right. You want those two to mix together, and you want to foam it on thick. That way, while you're in the process of swapping out foam cannons or mixing up more chemical, whatever, that foam is attaching to the paint. It's sticking to the paint. You know, mine, whenever I foam mine on, it looks like shaving cream. Okay, I can walk away 5 minutes, come back, and there's still thick foam on my truck. All right, because that goes back to having the proper setup. Okay, so you do that. Once you foam on stripes, you wash it off. High pressure. Doesn't have to be hot water. Hot water is always better. Doesn't have to be hot water. I don't even think he uses hot water in his wash bay. But doesn't have to be hot water. High pressure. Has to be high pressure. Don't touch your paint at 4,000 PSI. It's not what I mean. But, and after that, honestly, I've had maybe once or twice where I had to do a mitt wash, but that was because I let my truck go. I didn't have time to wash it, didn't have time to do anything with it. you know, for like a month and a half straight. I didn't have time. So it was a little bit too far gone, right? But even then, if it would have been, you know, probably the average person, whatever, probably wouldn't have mitt washed it. I mean, I only did it because there was little spots that I noticed, you know, that my OCD would not let me just walk away from. But I mean, you're talking crevices and stuff that most people are not going to notice, but I noticed it. So again, you know, I, you know, went back and mitt washed it. But, you know, that's a touchless system right there. That's what he uses. That's how he does it. Most of the trucks, if you look on his YouTube, that's how he does it. Touchless. Touchless is always best if you can do it. This is great for like maintenance washes in between, you know, like your big details and stuff like that. You know, there's absolutely no reason why you can't use it as a maintenance wash. It's perfect for that. You can also use it for an initial wash. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're using it right, mixing it right, you got the right setup, you can use it, and it's pretty much going to do whatever you want it to do. It's going to clean your vehicle, you know, very well. I mean, and you nobody would be able to walk up to your vehicle and tell that you didn't mitt wash. You know, they can't tell that. So I mean, if you know, if you are a detailer and you start using that, think about the time it saves you. You know, if you can get in there and you can do your initial wash doing that, that may take you 30 minutes compared to, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours with a mitt wash. You know, probably about an hour and a half if you're pretty good at what you do. But time is money. Saves you time, makes you money. Okay. So, and then from there, you know, if you do mitt wash, again, he's got different mitt washes and stuff. This is the one that I use the most. So I'm not going to grab the other one. The other one is like ceramic infused or whatever, which is really good. It's just not the one that I go to. This is the one that I go to. Okay. This one is Chem-x or foam, whatever you want to call it. I call it Chem-x. Anyway, works very, very well in a foam cannon. Very well. All right. Again, pH 7. I think he puts that on all of them. Anything that's going to touch your paint, like the tire dressing, he doesn't, but that doesn't matter. It's going on rubber. Anyway, high foam mitt wash. Okay. You can foam it on. You can chemical injector. You can pour it in a bucket and use a mitt. It doesn't matter. But what I do, again, QR code, if you want to know how to use it, or just go to his YouTube. Anyway, dilution ratios, all that kind of fun stuff. Even tells you right there, you know, foam cannon, bucket. Anyway, that stuff, and it smells great, by the way, just throwing that in there. But I foam it on after I wash off stars and stripes. I foam it on, I pour some in a bucket, and I use a mitt. It's the same, you know, using the same soap for both of them, all right? So, like I said, and it foams on very, very well. It's definitely my go-to soap for any vehicle I wash. Even if I don't do the two-step, that's pretty much all I ever do is two-step, touchless. That's my go-to mitt wash right there. I mean, I have yet to find anything better. His Liquid X is honestly right there next to it. I just don't, you know, like I said, I like the smell of this one. I like how well it foams. It was my favorite. That's what I use. But the Liquid X is just as good. You know, it's up to you and what you want. And then after that, if you want, you got snake oil. All right. Snake oil is a foam on paint sealant, basically. It's a touchless ceramic foam sealant. It's a ceramic infused paint sealant. As far as how long you get out of it, you're probably gonna get 2 to 3 months. You know, which is good because you gotta think, you're foaming this on. You're not spraying it on and buffing it out or anything like that or whatever. You're foaming it on. You can foam it on wet or dry, doesn't matter. But you're foaming it on. It'll take you, you know, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and it gets you 2 to 3 months. I mean, who can complain about that? But anyway, again, pH, you know, tells you what it is right there. Pump up sprayer, foam cannon, dilution ratios, QR code, and it smells like watermelon, I think. And it smells great, honestly. But I do that after every wash. Like I said, my truck is ceramic coated, has a 3-year coating on it. And you know, and I experiment with my truck. I use a lot of different chemicals that they'll tell you to dry your truck off, spray it on, buff it off, whatever. I don't do that. I use everything as a rinsing agent, everything. I've used, you know, like even some people's, like, you know, ceramic coatings in the bottle, like a spray bottle or whatever. I'll even do those the same way. With a wet truck, I'll spray them on and I'll use my power washer to hose it off. And guess what? It works. It works just as good. I mean, I experiment with chemicals. I mean, you know, with car washing chemicals and stuff like that. I experiment with application. I experiment with, you know, using different things for stuff other than what it's intended for. And everything's worked out great. Okay, so I use snake oil after every single time I wash something. Always do. There's no reason not to. Okay, it's easy to put on. 4-to-1 again. 4-to-1. There's times where I've done it 3-to-1, 2-to-1, and you know, of course, yeah, it's a little bit, puts it on a little bit heavier, whatever, but it's not enough to justify the extra chemical that you're using, mixing it like that. So just do it 4-to-1. 4-to-1 works out great for me. Pretty sure that's how he does it. He created it. 4-to-1 works out for him. It'll work out for you. He also has another chemical, Awesome Sauce. It is a spray on, you know, and you can buy it in a gallon like that too or whatever, but you don't foam it on, you spray it on. It's kind of like a ceramic quick detailer almost, you know, and you can use it as a topper for this, or you can use snake oil as a topper for that, however you want to do. I think you get longer protection out of Awesome Sauce. I think it's a 6-month coating, pretty sure. You know, that one, I've actually done that one on a wet vehicle. On my truck, after I've pressure washed snake oil off, I have sat there with Awesome Sauce and sprayed a panel and power washed it off, and the water would beat up even better than it did before I did that. So I know that it works. I know that it works doing that. You can literally see it whenever you rinse it off, and it beads better than it did before you did that. So you can do it that way. You can, you know, do like he does or whatever. You can, you know, spray it on a dry panel, buff it off. I've used it as a waterless wash. I don't recommend doing that. I actually don't ever recommend doing a waterless wash. You're just begging for light scratching and Mars and all kinds of stuff like that. I just do it because of living in an apartment complex now. They don't really care for you washing your vehicle outside. So in between washes and stuff like that, I will go out there and experiment a little bit with some, you know, detailers and stuff like that. I just make sure that panel is soaking wet before I ever drag a rag across it. But anyway, and then the last one that I kind of keep readily available. I buy all these by the gallons. If I was going to do this professionally, I'd buy them in the bigger jugs just because it's, you know, more cost effective. You don't have to order as many times or whatever, but I buy them by the gallon right now. And then I just, you know, like I said, I poured them in a foam cannon, so there's no reason to buy little bitty bottles. But anyway, this is tire and trim. Strawberry scented, smells great too. This stuff right here, you know, it's got your directions right there. You know, for tires, satin finish. If you want a satin finish, you're like me, you don't really like a gloss. Not on my tires, I like a satin. You know, lightly mist tire, work in with foam applicator, or whatever. I mean, I've used several different things. Gloss finish, lightly mist tire, and let it air dry. For vinyl and trim, mist the microfiber towel and work it into the plastic until you reach the desired shine. All right, I apply it. I've got Toyo MTs on my truck right now. They're about to come off. That truck's about to get lowered and built again. But anyway, so mud tires and stuff like that, you've got big, you know, your sidewall. You've got a very lumpy sidewall. It's very hard to get a foam applicator down in there. Okay, so I've done several different things. I've put it in a pump up sprayer and done it works fine that way. I've done it in a low volume, low pressure spray gun, paint gun, works fantastic that way. I've put it in just a regular spray bottle, whatever, works good that way too, whatever. It's just whenever you spray it on like that out of an actual spray bottle, you have to go back with something that will allow you to get in between the sidewall lugs, like a little boar's hair brush or something like that, because a foam applicator is not going to get down in there. You can use a microfiber towel, but you're going to be there a while, okay? Just don't go heavy on it. I mean, if you go heavy on it, then you're going to basically just be wasting product, honestly. So just go light on it, play around with it till you get the desired look that you want. It works really good on exterior trim, interior trim. Just don't go heavy on it on interior trim, or you're going to leave a film, which anything like that is going to do it. Not knocking his stuff, but anything like that is going to do that. So like I said, just play around with it, figure out how you want to use it. I've got some other stuff that I use also. We're just moving to an apartment, so we're still trying to get everything organized. Okay, all my car washing stuff is right here. And okay, all right, here we go. Probably should have got this out before I started the video, but whatever. All right, this next stuff, I use it a lot. It's like, it used to stay in my truck, honestly. But this is Chem-x, it's interior. All right, this one is green tea scented. He's got several different scents. I haven't tried all of them. Green tea has been my go-to, whatever. Whenever I'm done with this bottle, that's about how much I got left. When I'm done with this bottle, I'm gonna try a different one. Just figure out which one I like the most. But, and of course it's got, kind of directions, whatever, and some tips. I've used this stuff on some very dirty interiors. I've used it on, leather, plastic, on anything on the interior. I've even actually used it on the carpet, and it actually works pretty good on the carpet too, believe it or not. But I've used it on everything, and honestly, not just saying it because I'm talking about all of his other stuff. That's probably the best interior cleaner that I've used to date. It's a very good interior cleaner for sure. It's gotten stains out that I didn't think would be able to come out. It's like I said, if you use it and you can agitate it right, you can use a microfiber towel. It's better to have like a boar's hair brush or something like that, or even a little attachment on a drill. But it works very well. I was very impressed with how well that works, how well it smells. It even will kind of coat it a little bit, it adds like a little layer of protection, for anything you use it on or whatever, and gives it kind of like a little satin sheen, which is good. You don't want a glossy interior that doesn't look good. Like I said, it just works really well. I've used that under the hood of my truck. Like after I've cleaned it and stuff, I've used it, sprayed it on, like my piping, my intake, and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And, it worked really good on that. Just kind of like give it a little coating. But yeah, that's, like I said, I've got a bunch more of his chemicals. I'm just going over the ones that I use the most. Didn't want to do a product demo because nobody's going to do a product demo better than the guy that created it. And I don't want to be one of those people doing it wrong, having people watch my videos and then get a bad taste in their mouth about his products because I didn't use them correctly. So that's just my opinion. I know this is a long video, it's probably boring, but if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I hope that you will at least give his products a try. They're well worth it. I mean, I promise you will not regret anything you buy from him. Like I said, just go watch his YouTube videos. It's 100% worth it. learn how to use them, have fun, and I'm sure you'll have the same good results that I do, that he does, you know. But like I said, if you made it this far, thank you. I know this was boring, but thank you.